UFO.
Is that, bro?
UFO. DNA in the sky.
Whoa! What the fuck? It's like disappearing and shit. What the fuck
UFO. Seen it first. It's like Christmas UFO.
is that? Yo, that's creepy. What? Shit. What the fuck? Oh, okay.
But where?
What the fuck is
What
that?
is
Hot
that?
air balloon?
Bro,
No,
what balloon, bro? It's just a bunch of lights.
There's no fucking, it's not attached to shit.
We might be getting attacked right now. It looks very friendly. Number 8. Yo, let's grab an 8-ball. Oh, fuck. Now I can't show my sister this. Bro, what is this? UFO, yo. Ooh.
What the fuck? And it's gone. Dude, what the fuck was that?
That's fucked. Where is it?
What the fuck?
Oh!
What is that shit?
It went from an 8 to like a fucking 9. Is it counting up?
Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. It's another edition of the Daily Edification, the Daily Exhortation. Coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Baal Shem, Yahweh Shai, Baal Shem, Kwadash. All praises and glory is definitely due. And what you see here on screen is an article that I found entitled Chip Implants, the Next Big Privacy Debate. And this video is basically another response to the flippant attitude of this guy Zabak when he did that video Chips with No Dips. You know, that was an example of him. That video with that title was an example of him being flippant to the truth, for lack of a better term, flippant to the truth of Revelation 13 and 16, where it speaks about the mark, i.e. the mark of the beast, the mark being the RFID chip. Okay? Let's look up this word flippant, so you get an idea. Now, I'd used the word before, but in this video I'm going to look up the definition, and you're going to see that, you know, that describes this guy with his non-respectful attitude towards Revelation 13 and 16, the use of the word mark being the chip. Now, the word flippant, here's the definition. It says, not showing a serious or respectful attitude, a flippant remark. So his video, Chips with No Dips, was an example of being flippant. He's not showing a respectful nor serious attitude to one of the most serious prophecies on the table today, that being that microchip. And the thing is, Esau is going to make this thing mandatory, just like the prophecy says. All right, just like the prophecy says. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark, my brothers, is that chip, that RFID chip, which Joe Biden called a microscopic tag device. Now, I believe I'm going to call this video, I've been meditating on the title, I'm going to call this video, You Can Joke Now, But Heads Will Roll. And this is pursuant to Revelation, the 20th chapter, which, let's get Revelation, the 20th chapter. Because the mandatory implication of the chip is going to come down under the penalty of death. It's going to be handed down by the elites, the top wicked elite, under the penalty of death. In other words, if you don't take that chip, your head will literally roll. Because that's what the guillotines do. What they do is they put your head in that guillotine, and the blade comes down and choop, your head just gets chopped off and rolled into a basket. Then they bring the next guy, you know. And this is what the Apostle John saw on the island of Patmos in that vision, Revelation 20. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. So we're approaching that time where certain brothers, the ones that had the witness of Yahushua was the brothers, man. Certain brothers are going to be beheaded for not taking that chip. As we read along in the verse, you're going to see one of the things they didn't do was take that chip, which is going to be made mandatory. So because of that, they were put into a guillotine and their head literally roll. Okay, so this thing is going to get deadly serious. And I guarantee you, I promise you, in that day, nobody's going to be joking. Nobody's going to have a flippant attitude towards that mandatory implication of that chip. Okay, it's going to get deadly serious. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Heavenly Father, and which had not worshipped the beast. Not worship the beast is Esau, Edom, their power structure, which goes back to the Greco-Roman Empire. And now I'm going to add Greece in there, or the Greeks in there, because Draco, which was a Athenian lawgiver, and this is what they're going to use to push this chip. They're going to use something called draconian legislation. Draconian goes back to Draco. Draco was a Greek. Okay, he was a lawgiver during the time of the Athenian city in Athens. All right, the Athenian lawgiver lived in a city called Athens, hence his title, the Athenian lawgiver, Draco. And that's where the Romans got their cue to push their draconian legislation. So this beast is a combined effort. This beast is the Greeks and the Romans combining, which they're the same people any goddamn way, Edomites. All right, so had not worshipped the beast. So now you know what the beast is. Neither his image. Now his image comes in the form of the so-called New World Order. That's his image. That's what he wants to bring. And that chip is his shining star. Because in the New World Order, they want everyone tagged. They want everyone controlled. Remember what Aaron Russo said to Alex Jones in that video. He said they want everyone chipped. They as in the top banking families. And then Alex Jones, he blurted out, total control, total control. So yeah, that's what they want. So that's part of the image. New World Order represents slavery, represents total control. All right, so worship the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark. That's that chip, man, upon their foreheads or in their hands. And when I read this article, you're going to clearly see that, okay? And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. So you're going to have brothers that's going to be defiant to the end. That's why their heads are going to roll, okay? So Zabak, you can laugh all you want to. You can make fun all you want to. You can be flippant all you want to. But that just shows me you're ignorant, hopelessly ignorant to the gravity of this chip nonsense. This whole chip nonsense, all right? And yes, it is nonsense. But it's nonsense that Esau is going to push under the penalty of death. Okay? So there you have it. So let's get to the article. That being said, let's go to the article here. This is from Dan Lorman, and it's dated November 26, 2018. It says, chip implants, the next big privacy debate. And there's all kind of discussions, there's all kind of debates behind closed doors in the government concerning that chip, man. And you notice conveniently they keep it out of the news. While you Israelites out there are being deceived by all this fluff and puff entertainment, this lousy music, lousy food. This is what these devils are discussing behind closed doors. An effective way to totally control you, man. And if that's not so, why do we have this video here? This is an example of how behind closed doors, what they are discussing. Okay? That is to control you. Hold on. This thing is... Oh boy, come on. Oh, here we go.
That.
So I'm gonna play this video here.
Can
I'm gonna play this video here to show you the example. Okay. Now again, let's hold up. Let's bring back this article. Let's bring back the article, right? Chip implants, the next big privacy debate. So there's debates, there's discussions going on behind the scenes in the government concerning this chip. And here's an example.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement?
Now that voice that you heard, that was Joe Biden, the former Vice President of the United States during the Obama reign, right? He's asking this guy sitting there who goes by the name of John Roberts. His title is Chief Justice of the United States. And if you don't know what capacity John Roberts' job holds, just Google it. These are the guys that preside over certain laws in the United States. So here's Joe Biden telling John Roberts, the day is going to come, let's play it again, the day is going to come when you're going to rule over a microscopic tag which is going to be put in a person's body. Now, I draw your attention to the word tag, because the top elite, they want everyone tagged, just like you tag cattle, cows, if you will. That's what they look at us anyway. You know, the so-called Jews, they call us goyim. When you look up that term goyim, you know what word is associated with it? Cattle. So they look at us as cattle, and cattle is tagged. You know, a farmer who wants to account for his cattle that he owns, he tags them. So you just heard, check out Joe Biden. Check out Joe Biden's use of words. He called that chip a microscopic tag. Man, they want everyone tagged, man. You know, he calls it for all both small and great. Let's hear it again.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that.
There's actual discussion about that. Isn't that what he said? There you go. This article lines up with what he just said. Chip implants, the next big privacy debate, because there's some in the government that are saying that the chip invades one's privacy. All right, so there's certain ones that seem to be against it, but they're really not against it. They're all part of that machine. You know, they just give the illusion that the people have a voice in the government, but there wouldn't be the ones that seem to oppose it, like your senators or your congressmen. They wouldn't be senators or congressmen. They wouldn't be senators or congressmen if they really oppose the top banking families that control them, that are puppets for them. You know, they wouldn't have that title. Let's hear that video again. Tell me this is not revealing.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement?
To track his every movement. Total control. And you notice John Roberts puts he puts his eyes down. You know, because that's a hot button topic, man.
Full discussion about that. You will rule on that, Mark.
You will rule on that. That's his capacity. That's his job as Chief Justice of the United States.
My words before your tenure is over.
And guess what? Guess what? His tenure is not over. He's still in office, in that office, Chief Justice of the United States. So there you go. Some say we will all eventually be chipped. See, right off the rip, this article comes out spitting fire, man. Some say we will all eventually be chipped. Others say never. Yeah, like Zabak. Let the privacy, legal, technical, professional, medical, security, political, religious, and also personal battles begin. Now, keep in mind that that article was less than a year ago, all right, November 26, 2018. So it's less than a year ago. It says, have you been chipped? The question is set to divide millions of people in the 2020s. The 2020s. Now, what year are we approaching? 2020. And that's the big question. And you see what it says there? It's going to divide millions of people. Now remember what Yahushua said, if Satan be divided against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? So this chip issue, you got Edomites that are against this chip. Because some Edomites, they are identified with the Bible, especially in the Bible Belt. And they know about Revelation 13 and 16. They know that it's the mark of the beast, unlike Zabak. They know that the word mark is the chip. So they're not going to take it. So it's going to cause a division among these Edomites. You know, and then there's another prophecy where the Lord said, I will cause the Egyptians to go against the Egyptians. The modern day Egyptian is Esau, Edom. So that's another example. It'll be over this chip issue. The question, a lot of Edomites feel that chip, and rightly so. There's one thing about Esau, they're not stupid. A lot of them feel that chip is an invasion of their privacy, their natural privacy. And that's indeed correct. But it goes far beyond that. You know, we as Israelites, we're not supposed to put any cuttings in our flesh, and we're certainly not supposed to put no devices in our body, man. You know, defiling our temple. You know, and that is pursuant to Revelation 13:16, pursuant to Leviticus, the 19th chapter, the 27th verse, you know, which is the law. Anyway, the question is set to divide millions of people in the 2020s. Check that out. And perhaps billions of people in the 2030s and 40s. Well, we ain't going to get that long, so. I'm just going to bounce around because I don't want to make this video too long. As individuals try to grapple with the privacy and security implications, that's what's going to cause the divisions among the people. Privacy and security implications that come with IoT, which is Internet of Things, that's the acronym. Big data, public and private sector data breaches, social media sharing, GDPR, new California privacy law, along with data ownership and right to be forgotten provisions, along comes a set of technologies that will become much more personal than your smartphone or cloud storage history. You know what that technology is? That chip. And that chip will be a lot more personal than a smartphone. You remember what Zabak said? He said, all of you got the chip. If you got a smartphone, you got the chip. You got a computer, you got the chip. Yeah, but we're talking about a device that's going to be much more personal than a smartphone. This is a device that's going to be put in your body literally. That's that chip, and that's pursuant to the prophecy. Reading on, it says, get ready for people to ask you to place microchips under your skin for a wide variety of reasons, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, the last time I checked, your right hand or your forehead, isn't that under your skin? When we look at the word charagma, right, the Greek word charagma for mark in Revelation 13:16, doesn't the definition say an inserted device? Inserted where? Under the skin. And then when you look up the root word for charagma, the root word is charax, which means a pail. That pail is going to be inserted under your skin. You just heard Joe Biden said a microscopic tag device implanted in a person's body. He just said that. So all the elements are lining up, man. How can a guy like Zabak, who's supposed to be a very good teacher, how can he not see that? Unless he's sold out. Huh? But you know what? The hell with him, man. We're done warning him. You know, any of you that follow that guy, well, you're just what Yahushua said. He's the blind that's leading you. You've been led by the blind. You're the blind being led by the blind. We had Great Millstone, beginning of Elder Apostle Tal on down. We're not blind, man. As it is written, we're not ignorant to the devices of Satan. And one of those devices is this chip. You better believe it. Let's read on. It says, why are implanted chips so controversial? Why? Because it's against the Bible. It's against the scriptures. That's why. Plus, for Edomites, which they don't really believe in the Bible, but for them, it invades their privacy. And the Edomites, they don't like their privacy being invaded. Okay? Why are implanted chips so controversial? What is at stake? Your privacy. How can such, now for Israelites, right? For Edomites, it's your privacy, because you could take that chip, because you ain't going to be saved anyway. But for us Israelites, what's at stake is our salvation. Because if you're an Israelite and you take that chip, well, let's read it. Revelation 14:9. Rather than me saying it, let's read it. This is why we keep barking our head off concerning that chip. And we're supposed to bark, man. There's a scripture where it says that dumb dogs who cannot bark. That's the bark, man. He's a dumb dog that cannot bark. He's supposed to be barking his head off, warning the Israelite public about this chip, man. What kind of dog is he? Well, we had Great Millstone. We're barking dogs with some big ass teeth, all right? The book of Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, that's that chip, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Heavenly Father. That's why when you go in Revelation 20, it speaks about how John saw brothers who were defiant to the end, who didn't take the chip. Because those brothers know that if they take the chip, they would receive Revelation 14:9 and 10. They don't want to drink of the wrath. As a matter of fact, the elite, the elect of the nation of Israel, the elect, they're not going to drink of the wine of the wrath of the Heavenly Father. That's why they're not going to take that chip. It's just that simple. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Heavenly Father, which is poured out without mixture. Meaning you get the full dose of it, man. Concentrated fire, man. And like a couple of videos I did, one of the most horrific ways to die is by fire. Burnt alive. All right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Heavenly Father, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You know what that's talking about? The nuclear destruction, along with the laser beams that's going to be coming out the chariots, which Yahushua himself is going to bring. That's why it says the slain of the Lord shall be many. So that is why you're going to have brothers defiant to the end, and they're going to lose their heads in the process. But that's all right. Yahushua said it best. Fear not them that can kill the body, and there's no more they can do. Okay, so we're not to fear these Edomites. Plus, the Heavenly Father can raise us right back up. Our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, why Yahushua has power over death. Yahushua proved that. So we're not afraid of death, man. Plus, in this freaking society, we're already dead anyway. We've never lived. As it is written, we are killed all the day long for this faith, man. So that's the last thing that scares us, death. Anyway, let's read it again. Get ready for people to ask you to place microchips under your skin for a wide variety of reasons. Why are implanted chips so controversial? What is at stake? How can such a small thing affect so many people? What leads to me proclaim that implanted chips will become the next big privacy debate? So, like I said, they have discussions behind closed doors on this issue. They have debates, probably heated debates, in Congress concerning this chip issue. It says, short answer, implanting chips in humans has privacy and security implications that go well beyond cameras in public places, facial recognition, tracking of our locations, our driving habits, our spending histories, and even beyond ownership of your data. This topic touches upon your hand, your heart, your brain, and the rest of your body, literally, because within your body they want to put that chip. Okay? This new development is set to give a very different meaning to hacking the body, or biohacking. Yeah, it's the ultimate form. I would say the chip is the ultimate form of biohacking. Okay, biohacking. And why do you have a hacker? A hacker, his job is to retrieve what? To retrieve information that's private. So you got a lot of Edomites that are up in arms about that. Okay, so this is where Satan going to be divided against Satan. This is where if Satan be divided against Satan, his kingdom cannot stand. This is where the Egyptians are going to be against the Egyptians, like it says in the prophecy in the book of Isaiah. While cyber experts continue to worry about protecting critical infrastructure and mitigating security risks that could harm the economy or cause loss of life, implanted chips also affect health. Yeah, because they brought out studies that those that get chipped, it causes cancer. The chip causes cancer, which makes sense because the chip is powered by the human body, but it emits radiation while it's in the body, and that radiation, even though it's a low amount, a low dose, it still has the potential to cause cancer. So that's part of the debate that they're having over that chip. You know, that it causes what? It could affect your health. Implanted chips also affect health, but add in new dimensions that conflict with people's religious beliefs. Yes, Revelation, the 13th chapter, 16th verse. Like I said, the Bible Belt, the Edomites down there, they know that the chip is the mark of the beast. So they're going to fight against it. That's what you have your guillotines for. Let's explore the good and bad, or the good, the bad, and the possible ugly implications that come with the microchip implants. First, background on implanting microchips in your body. First, as background, we initially explored the implanted chips topic last year in this piece about employees at 3 Square Market, a technology company in Wisconsin, who had a small chip injected in their hands for security convenience. So it's begun, man. You know. Reactions to this news was all over the map, with headlines ranging from positive stories about the dawning of a great new era. Sounds like New World Order to me. A new era. About the dawning of a great new era, to Big Brother privacy concerns, to fears that Bible or biblical prophecies are about to come true. So right there they're telling you that the mandatory implication of the chip ties into the Bible, ties into the scriptures. Many more articles have been written on this topic since my first article in July 2017. USA Today came out in August of 2017 with the headline, "You Will Get Chipped Eventually." Here's a quote. "This would go beyond paying with your smartphone. Instead, chipped customers would simply wave their hands in lieu of Apple Pay and other mobile payment services, or payment systems rather." So right there they're showing you the convenience of having, and that's what's going to appeal to a lot of simple-minded people, and that includes our own people. What's going to appeal to them is the convenience of having that microchip, the convenient benefit. The benefits don't stop there. In future, consumers could zip through airport scanners, scan passport or driver's license, and you know what a hassle that those airport lines are. So that'll appeal to a lot of people. Oh, word, I can just wave my hand and I'm on the plane. Yeah, I'm with that. You know how simple our people are. That's really what's going to get a lot of our people, the convenience of that chip. And the ignorance that our people got to Revelation 13 and 16. Open doors, start cars, and operate home automation systems. All of it, if the technology pans out, with the simple wave of a hand. The Atlantic offered an article in September 2018 describing why you're probably getting a microchip implant someday. Did you hear that? Why you're probably getting a microchip implant someday, and that's under the penalty of death. The article focused on how many microchip implants are going from tech geek novelty to genuine health tool. That's another angle they're going to push, for this chip. All your medical information can be on the chip. So let's say you get into an accident and you're unable to talk, you're in a comatose state. They can find out all the information about you just by scanning your chip. Okay? And you might be running out of good reasons to say no. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. See, they're making it attractive for you. And you better believe they're going to use so-called celebrities to push that nonsense, that chip. The same celebrities that a lot of you Israelites are trying to drag into the truth. Yeah, your rappers. You're going to have some rappers write a rap about the chip. A positive rap, why you should take it. 3 Square Chip says that its medical RFID implants will be powered by body heat, but it emits radiation. That's why it causes cancer. And McMullen's plan, McMullen plans to develop a single piece of hardware to aid patients with a wider range of conditions that could make the chips more affordable than devices with more specialized and limited functions. Many heart patients right now, the only time they know let's read that again. Many heart patients right now, the only time they know they've got a problem is when they're in the back of an ambulance, McMullen says. Yeah, so, we put a chip in them. They won't have to talk. All we have to do is scan their chip and we'll know everything about them. The company estimates that it will be selling chips capable of tracking a wearer's live vital signs in a little more than a year. So there's debates. There's all kind of things going behind the scenes to set the stage to make this chip attractive to all. Like it says in the prophecy, he calls it all, both small and great. The scriptures don't lie, man. Like Yahushua said, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass till all be fulfilled. And that includes Revelation 13 and 16. Hasn't been fulfilled yet. But you listen to guys like Nate and that dude Zabak, you listen to both those guys, they'll have you believe that Revelation 13:16 has already been fulfilled. It's talking about wayward philosophies. No, it's not. It's talking about the mandatory implication of that chip. That's what it's talking about. All right, so I'm going to end it there. It's a nice, juicy article. And I'll leave the rest to you, brothers. You can do response to this article. All you got to do is type in, because I'm using my phone, so I don't know how to put a link in the description yet. I mean, I'd have to go on my computer, but all you have to do, because you got to do some work too. All you got to do is just type in chip implants, the next big privacy debate, and it'll take you right to this article. And, you can do your response on the article, and bring out some more edification. All right, so that being said, it's on to the next one, and stay tuned, because, we're not gonna rest our tongue on this issue, man. This microchip issue. We're gonna be doing this to the point of ad nauseum. All right. We're gonna keep talking about this till they make it totally mandatory, which is what they're gonna do. And when that's done, Ezekiel 2:7, then you're going to know a prophet have been among you. And those prophets with GMS, because we of all the Israelite groups, we're the main ones pushing this information, man, about this microchip and its connection to Revelation 13 and 16. All right, so that being said, it's on to the next one. Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All the praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to all you fellow laborers kicking this word. Quick lesson on Erdogan, which he's the president of Turkey, and he's been causing an uproar in regards to his dealings with America. He's cooperating with Russia, buying missiles from them, and now you have this. Erdogan defies Trump over Iran sanctions. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Friday continued to chart a collision course with Washington over Iran. Erdogan is categorically ruling out enforcing American sanctions intended to put Iran in an economic straitjacket. It is impossible for us to cancel relations with Iran with regard to oil and natural gas. We will continue to buy our natural gas from there, he said, while returning from the U.S. General Assembly. Turkey is Iran's second largest importer of natural gas. The importance of this announcement is economic, said Iran expert Jamshid Asadi of Francis Burgundy Business School. Any income in Tehran's situation is very welcome by the regime, which is increasingly starved of funds. And why they starved of funds? Because of the sanctions that America has been bringing upon them. Because that's what sanctions are intended to do. The sanctions are intended really to hurt the society, so then the people of the society will begin to uprise against the rulers, and so then the rulers will either relent to what the people who are putting sanctions on them want, in this case America. So they would say, all right, well, we're gonna have to do what America says in order for the sanctions to come off, or they're gonna end up clamping down on the public, being more oppressive to the public so they can stay in power. So it's a strategic move, and Esau knows that, and that's why Esau implements these sanctions in these different countries. And then what does he do? He usually has an American puppet set up, to slide into power once that existing regime is toppled, because of all of the pressure that they're getting from their people as a result of the sanctions that America brought in the first place. Trump imposed sweeping sanctions on Tehran after withdrawing the U.S. from an international nuclear accord with Iran. Dubbed a maximum pressure campaign by Trump, White House officials indicated they want to cut Iran's energy exports to zero. I'm going to jump down. Turkey will not go against Iran. We will not be Iran's enemy. Competitor, yes, but never its enemy. Erdogan acknowledged U.S. sanctions are impacting trade with Iran, saying Turkish private companies have curtailed oil purchases from the Islamic nation to avoid punitive measures. You see? I'm going to read it again. Erdogan acknowledged U.S. sanctions are impacting trade with Iran, saying Turkish private companies have curtailed oil purchases from the Islamic nation to avoid punitive measures. Speaking anonymously, a European banker said internationally operating Turkish companies would not risk being hit with U.S. sanctions for trading with Iran. Even so, the Turkish president is pledging to step up bilateral trade. Yeah, so in the midst of all that, in the face of all that, Erdogan is still adamant about dealing with them. On this issue, which is trade, especially in many other issues, we will continue our relations with Iran. I'm going to jump down. Turkey will circumvent and break U.S. sanctions against Iran just as they have done in the past, because Ankara does not believe it's bound by those sanctions. This will likely result in U.S. sanctions against Turkey, but Turkey is ready for that. Now, mind you, and I'm doing this lesson to highlight how Esau's power structure is crumbling, and there's all types of divisions, because Turkey is a part of NATO right along with America, so they're supposed to be allies. But look, Turkey is preparing for sanctions imposed upon them by their ally, which is America, which that right there shows you that, again, this power structure is crumbling. All right, without a spiritual eye, it looks like Esau has a firm grasp on this place, but those of us who are, locked in, looking out the state of the world, we can see that this man's going down, and this is a sign. And I'm gonna go ahead and end there. There's more to it, but that's pretty much the point. You can go ahead and look at it for yourself. I'm gonna get a few precepts. This is Mark 3:24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Right. And so the kingdom of America, because really NATO is ran by who? It's really ran by America. All right. It was set up by America. But what's happening is divided against itself, because Turkey, they've been a member since the 50s of NATO. And recently they've been in all types of conflict with America. So the kingdom is divided. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. That's right. So this kingdom isn't going to be able to stand. This empire is not going to be able to stand. This is Job 18:7. The steps of his strength, you know what, I'm going to start at 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Right, the light of the wicked. Who's the wicked? The so-called white man, the so-called Caucasian, the red Hebrew Edomite. All right, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. That's right. Now, Esau's not illuminating as much as he did. Why? Because the works that he's done in the dark have now come to light. So that's Esau's strength. Deception and people not knowing how he gets down. So the light of the wicked is being put out. Okay? And the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. That's right. So Esau's understanding is being put out. Esau's confused right now. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Right, his own counsel shall cast him down. Because NATO, that's Esau's counsel. Now you have these Turks. Eventually what's going to happen is they're going to get into stronger cooperation with the Russians and the Iranians. And eventually what's going to happen, they're going to shoot missiles over here. All right, because all nations that have nuclear capability, this is according to Jeremiah the 50th chapter, they're going to shoot them over here. And it says the horns which is upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Let me go ahead and grab that. It's Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right, and the 10 horns symbolizes the EU, which Turkey's not in the EU, but they're in NATO. And it says the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. So they're all ultimately intertwined. The only difference is that between the EU and NATO is a few countries. Colombia being the newest. Colombia is ran by so-called white people. Because you might say, well, look, Colombians, don't you say they're Israelites? Yeah, the descendants of indigenous people and the descendants of black people which were brought there. Yet when you look at the administration, and it's been like this since colonial times, the so-called white man runs it over there. So they're the newest accomplice to NATO. Now, I'm not sure if they're an official member, or matter of fact, let me just go ahead and look it up. Colombia. NATO. Yeah, well, they're a partner. Let me see their membership. Right, yeah, so they're a partner. Colombia is one of a range of countries beyond the Euro-Atlantic area, often referred to as partners. Yeah, so they're not an official member, but they're pretty much down with it. Yeah, and then you have Canada, and then you have America, and then Turkey, right? So 3-4 countries. So they're pretty much all intertwined. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's right, man. So America's own allies are going to turn against it. Let me get one more precept. Obadiah verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Right, and Turkey is a part of the confederacy. And Turkey, the Turkish people for the most part are Edomites. All right, there's also Elamites over there. There's Israelites amongst them, Ishmaelites amongst them, but for the most part, it's other Edomites, and they're a part of the confederacy. But guess what? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. That's right, because even though they're also Edomites, they're the Turkish people, they don't like to consider themselves as so-called white people, as far as being like other Europeans. They like to say they're Turks, and then their official religion is Islam. Because I met a few Turks and they try to separate themselves. So they're pretty much what? They consider themselves just like as allies to the so-called white man. All right, them Turks, allies to America. So it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that are at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. That's right. So Esau is being deceived. All these different nations, they're deceiving him. And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right. They that eat thy bread, meaning take your economic and military aid. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. That's right. Now Esau searching for answers. There's no understanding in him. That's why he's wearied in the multitude of his counsels, because his plans aren't coming to fruition as he thought they would. The Lord is throwing a monkey wrench, so to speak, in Esau's plans. So just a quick prophecy update. I pray the lesson was edifying. Call halayim Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and the Wadi Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, Kayah Rakakwadash for the Holy Spirit. Yahweh Ratazah going to be going live soon in about 45 minutes, and hopefully that's edifying as well. Shalom to you. Till next time.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Wakakudash. I'm saying double honor to the apostles and the elders, like great millstones, for teaching his word in truth and sincerity, and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another live lesson. Today's live lesson, okay, is entitled "The Mark of the Beast RFID Microchip is Not a Laughing Matter." Okay, and what inspired this video is the video that you see in front of you. This is from the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. All right, they got this so-called black woman, this robust black woman, so-called comedian, making fun or light of the RFID chip. Like it's something simple and fun, and like it's something that you should do. And then they kind of give you like the pros and cons of it while watching the video. But the point of the matter is, it's not a laughing joke. It's not a laughing matter. When people start getting destroyed and killed for not taking the chip, is it going to be funny then? You got when billions of people get put to death by nuclear fire because they worship the mark of the beast, which meaning they took that chip in order to survive in this world. Is it going to be funny then? All right, and that's the thing. Here it is. Esau, through his gradualism, which we'll get the definition of that. Through his gradualism, he's making it like it's a light thing basically to get you comfortable and accepting the fact that the market of the RFID chip is something that you should do when it's not. Okay, the scriptures expressly speak against taking the mark of the beast, and it also gives you the judgment if you take it, if you accept it. The scriptures also speak about the Israelites, the elected of Israel, that won't take it, all right, and their reward behind not taking it and worshiping. Because when you take that RFID chip, you're worshiping this system, and you got people like Zabak and other detractors that say that, oh, everybody got the chip because you got a cell phone. No, that's a lie. The scriptures are expressively explicit about how the chip will be implemented, how people will take it, and what will happen to them after they do such a thing. And so I wanted to play this video and bring out some more information, because again, this is not a laughing matter, but to our people, everything's a joke. Everything's a joke to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. And it's a reason why they put a so-called black woman on here to make you people comfortable with it, man. Especially the people of our nation. You listen to anything this woman say, man. She's my queen and all another shit. But she's setting you up for failure, man. And then they put a so-called Negro woman on here, why? To make light of the situation, because to get you to accept it, man. But again, this is not a laughing matter. And anyone that takes it, you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be put to death, man. And it shows you that we're in the last days, man. And then I'm gonna read some of these comments that's on this this video too, because you got people on the comment board that's more woke than you niggas, man. Now I don't know how many so-called black or Latino people watch Trevor Noah's show, but I know that millions of people tune in daily, so they saw this video too. And again, this is no joke and laughing matter. So let me play this video real quick. Man. You know, these not the videos that garner a bunch of views, and it's not about views. We just trying to get this word out to the elect, man, because the elect are the only ones that's gonna adhere to this word, man. All right, they're the only ones that's gonna adhere to it, man. So this chick named Nikolai Johnson, all right, producer, Stacey Angeles. So let me play this real quick.
Land of fear, cheese. And I'm here in Wisconsin, land of fear, cheese, and real-life dystopian technology that's going to control your every move.
For Wisconsin-based company 3 Square Market announced its plans to install rice-sized microchips in its employees.
That's right. This company is shoving microchips into their employees, and this movement is spreading worldwide.
In Sweden, thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives.
Next thing you know, we'll all be chipped.
And that's the truth. Again, you making light of something that's super serious, man. It ain't like 1 or 2 people out here getting a chip in their hand. This shit is worldwide, man. You know, and she said soon we'll all be chipped. But again, she making light of it, but there ain't nothing light about this, man. And this is what Aaron Russo said about this very subject, man. And this comes from the top, man.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish.
Yeah, and that comes from the elite. So that's another thing too. By the time information gets funneled down to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here, you're the last to get the information, man. You know, this stuff been planned from the very, very top of these super elites, man. They trying to play the most high, all right? And their ultimate goal is to chip the whole world. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's not something that's made up. This is serious, man. Here it is, thousands of years before this even happened. Guess what? It was already written in the scriptures, man, that it would happen, man. The Apostle John on the island of Patmos had a vision about this, man, given to him by Yahweh Shem Shai, and he wrote it down and told you what was going to be happening in the end times, man. You people are so complacent and so simple-minded, and when I say you people, talking about you Israelites, man. That's why this thing is going to catch you off guard, man. And then who they give you to feed you this medicine of humor, so-called humor, a fat, black, obese, so-called woman, man, African woman, black American woman, man, to give you, to make it a joke, because everything's a joke to the nigga woman, man. Everything's light, everything's a joke, even serious matters, man. You laughing at it. You thinking it's a game. But when you getting dragged into a fucking concentration camp Your people, your children, your loved ones are fucking starving to death, and they drag you to a concentration camp and tell you to take this chip. Then what? Then what, man? The majority you're going to take it. You ain't even going to have to be dragged into a concentration camp. You're just going to take it because you think it's the right thing to do, but it's the wrong thing to do. And again, this is a life and death matter. There's nothing funny about life and death matters, man. Matters that concern whether you're going to die on this side, a horrible death through nuclear fire, or you're going to be saved through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. This is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So that knowledge that's being given, it is not that, that there's a lack of the knowledge. It's just a lack that Jake has a lack of knowledge of the Heavenly Father, man. Jake has a lack of the knowledge of how the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, operates, what his laws are, what are the things concerning his laws, statutes, commandments, prophecies. They have a lack of knowledge in that. Oh, a nigga can tell you how to cook up and coke and tell you how to be a demon, but he can't tell you how to escape this judgment, man. He can't tell you how to please the Lord, man. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and because you jakes out here have a lack of knowledge, you will be destroyed. You're going to be put to death in a horrible manner. Okay? My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because thou has rejected knowledge, and that's our people reject knowledge, especially when it's coming from us, people that look like them. Which really they're not rejecting us, they're rejecting Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. But the so-called white man knows it's real. The super elites, they know that judgment is coming. Them super elites know that the RFID chip is written about in the Bible. They're preparing to escape. They're already out of here. But you niggas, you still here. Listening to your favorite mascot, the nappy-headed black woman, man. And her fat ass gonna get put to death, man. So she think it's a joke. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. You know, and that's what's going to happen, because the law says that we're not. The law of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua says what? We are not to make any cuttings in our flesh. You ain't supposed to insert anything into your flesh, man. But Jake think it's a fucking game.
To pull a Harriet Tubman and free these white people. Wait.
In Sweden, thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives.
Next thing you know, we'll all be chipped. I'm gonna pull a Harriet Tubman and free these white people. Wait, you know what I mean?
Hey, you see, and that's the nigga woman. She's all about Eve. Is all about Esau, man. She don't care about you. All that black power shit, all that black lives matter bullshit. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. If anybody is against you, it's this woman, man. Talking about saving white people, man.
To put an end to this evil technology before it dominates us all. The removal wasn't going to be pretty, but luckily I spent a summer working as an unlicensed proctologist. Bend over. Here, strike your chip.
What are you talking about?
Making
jokes. The chips they put in.
Making jokes, man.
Here, take it out.
I volunteered.
Volunteered?
Yeah.
What? Hey, who else volunteered to get this chip?
And all them people going to
Even you, black dude.
Yeah, he's going to get put to death. You see the focus. They even focusing on Jake in this, man. Why do you think they focusing on Israelites in this thing, man? Because you're the goal, man. You're the goal. And then Jake, like, he got his hand raised, like, whatever. And that's why Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is gonna kill you niggas, man. So you other heathen nations, you can take it as long as you want, because salvation ain't for you anyway. But for the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's salvation is for us, man.
Man, so I sat face to face with the man responsible for running a company of chipped employees. So where exactly is this chip implanted?
Right there.
That's not where I thought y'all put it.
Where did you think I put it?
That's not important. So how did you convince your employees to let you brainwash them into getting chips in their hands?
Because they saw that we could do something that truly could just change the world. I literally can, with the swipe of the hand, do anything. You can start your car with it. You can make payments, unlock doors.
I've been able to unlock doors my whole life.
I just go like this. It's easier.
Don't you think each other helping people become more lazy? We already swipe everything. I swipe on my phone to meet these means. I already paid with my phone.
Simple,
Why do I?
man. This bitch is simple, bro. Yo, this shit ain't even funny, bro. This shit. That's another thing too. There's no humor in this, man. Real quick, this is Proverbs 9:13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. And that's an example of that. This is an example of a foolish woman that knoweth nothing. Clamorous woman, loud, all over the place, and she don't know shit. She don't understand nothing. This is why the Lord, he ain't dealing with no woman, man. Because leave it up to her when we all be dead, man. This bitch got probably walking around with all kinds of diabetes and everything. Talking about, so I swipe what men's is. Shows you that whorish attitude, that folly attitude, man. That's what the woman carries, man.
I need a chip in my hand.
I'm never going to forget my hand. It's always there.
Hands are really easy to lose. Chip in my hand. I already paid with my phone. Why do I need a chip in my hand?
I'm never going to forget my hand. It's always there.
Hands are really easy to lose. We've all been near a wood chipper, too close to an industrial fan.
Let's put it this way. What if I could save your life? Let's say you have a heart issue. Let's say you have diabetes. What about dementia? What about a senior citizen, to give them the peace of mind that at all times we know where they are, that we can look at all their vital
That's a
signs?
life alert, Patrick. We already did this. The lady's falling and she can't get up. Push the button. Somebody come get me.
But if that person's passed out, they're not able to push that button.
Well, that may have been an excellent point. I wasn't fully convinced. This is the only chip I want in my body, Patrick.
This bitch eating some fucking
So good.
Cheetos,
Just
man.
wait till you see what it can do.
Watch
What
this
can
shit.
it do? You can buy snacks with the scan of your hand? Holy shit, it works. Now, I know this chip initially scared the hell out of me. So, seeing it in action, it's a game changer.
Yeah, because you gotta eat. You see? And that's how they gonna get you. You see, they got a fat, black, manny bitch playing games, man. The Most High Yahweh Shemel Shah is not playing, man. This is the majority of the reason why you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans gonna take this fucking chip is because you hungry, man. And a nigga woman wants to eat all the fucking time, man. That bitch weigh like 300 pounds, man. Ain't no reason for her to eat no more food, man. And this is Salaki, man. These niggas are crazy, man. These niggas are fucking crazy, man. There's some shit that affect all of us, man. And they're making light of it, man. Hey, the Most High is not gonna make light of it, man. He's not gonna make light of it, man. That's a death sentence, man. This is Sirach chapter 16, verse 20. It says, what's this? Yeah, second Esdras, Salakia. Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 20. Second Esdras 16 and 20. But all these, I'll start at 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as a scourge for amendment. This is the reason why the majority of Israelites are going to get put to death for your sins. It's an amendment for your sins, man. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right. See, knowing that all these things are coming, Jake is not going to be mindful of their wickedness, of their evil. They're not trying to repent. They're not trying to know the truth. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And a lot of you Jakes, you really think you're in a good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So the majority of the people on earth are going to die from famine. So what you think people going to do when they can't eat, especially the nigga woman, man, and her little chillings? They can't eat. All right? Here it is. This nigga talk about all these bullshit miracles that this thing could do, right? Oh, you can open up doors. You can wave your hand and unlock shit. You can put your medical information on it. But then the moment this nigga's talking about some fucking food, this bitch starts going nuts, man. And that's why 2/3 of Israel are going to die, man. You are going to be put to death in a horrible manner, man, for your disobedience. It is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That word there, mark, is karagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right? And how is he going to cause it? Through different situations, through convenience, through famine, hunger, strife. Okay? And it don't matter if you rich or poor in this society, if you so-called free or if you locked up. He gonna cause you to do it. Oh, you can get some time knocked off your sentence if you take this chip. And we just track where you at. To receive a mark in a right hand or foreheads, and that no man, this is the key point, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So the key point in this is that the chip is going to make you be able to what? Buy and sell. What they're already getting you used to cashless payments with your cell phones and with Cash App, with these different apps they got, right? So the next step is putting it in your hand. Oh, it's convenient. That's why they got a lot of these. When you go to the store, you can just wave your phone. Well, you ain't gonna have to wave your phone no more. You're just gonna wave your hand, and that's how they're gonna cause you to do it. All right.
Hell out of me. So, holy shit, it works. Now I know facts with the scan of your hand. Holy shit, it works. Now I know this chip initially scared the hell out of me. So, seeing it in action, it's a game changer.
Yeah,
how do I get me one of these?
So basically, we'll just clean it with this prep stick, and then
You
what I'll
see,
do.
she signed up. How do I get me one of these? Fucking fat black nanny, man. And just picture this nigga woman in tow with a bunch of kids, man. Just picture that. How do I get it? How do I get it? What? But again, this is a serious matter. Even Vice President, at the time, Senator Biden, was speaking to Chief Justice Roberts about this stuff, man. Years ago, man.
Microscopic tag be implanted in a person's can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that. Mark my words before your tenure is over.
Yeah, he told him you're gonna rule on the implementing the microchip RFID tag into somebody, man. Mark my words. Why would he say that? Because they gotta pass it through legislation. Because they already prepared for the wave of people that's gonna buck up against it, especially some of these Edomites in these Bible belts, man. And then he gonna say, well, it's legal. Go ahead and do it. And then, hey, that's gonna set precedence, man. Here it is. We warning you not to take it. And even if you do take it, guess what? Ain't all that I'm gonna pull it out shit. That's some bullshit, man. It takes surgery to take that out your hand. And you niggas don't know shit about surgery, man. This guy right here, he got the chip, I think sometime last year, and then he decides he wants to remove it.
Take out this microchip. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just trying to think, like, I want to do it myself, but I don't know if I'll hurt myself too bad or some shit, but I might just cut this motherfucker out myself. I'm not gonna lie. Where's the microchip? It's right here in my hand. And they insert that.
This was a separate investor. I'm about to try to get out that contract, get them their money back.
But you can't get out that contract, nigga. You worship the beast. There's a judgment behind this, man. Revelation 13 and 10. Revelation 14. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them saying with a loud voice. Let me read that again. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in their forehead or in his hand, left or right, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath, which with the Most High. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you can take it out, try to take it all you want. You're already in the system. You already took this man's deal, and this nigga is through. He's through.
About myself, I done made enough now. I did enough now. I got enough. I got far enough. I don't want to be involved with that.
He got Satan's money. He said he got far enough. He don't want to be involved anymore. But you already in there, nigga.
But they let you just get out? I don't know. We're gonna figure out.
So let me just show you how this nigga had to go and get surgery. And even the surgeon had an issue with trying to help this nigga get this shit out.
Try again to take this thing out. We just got on live for those of you seeing it. Yo, RIP this nigga's Instagram account. Free bucks.
Yeah, this nigga throwing up a Baphomet.
RIP this nigga's Instagram account. Free bucks.
Yeah, he's through, man.
40 on me, don't you run. Pockets they full of blue hunt. Kibble with.
See? You got this dude had to it caused surgery, man. To get this shit taken out, man. And you niggas ain't got those skills, the tools, or the know-how to do none of this shit, man. And you're gonna get put to death. He's gonna get put to death, man. What do you think you're gonna escape? Nigga, you sold out. So what's the judgment behind this? Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, which is 2/3 of our people in these heathen nations. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. Does that sound like something that's funny? Does that sound like something that's humorous? Does that sound like something to make light of? Hell no. Because that's the judgment you Jay's gonna get, man. That's that nuclear fire. All right? Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So is it 2/3 of people dying, of Israelites dying? Is that something to make mockery of and fun of? No, ain't nothing funny about that. There's nothing funny about this. And let me read you some of these comments on this comment board. Check this out. Somebody named Justin James, he said, guys, this really isn't funny. This is dangerous. A really dangerous precedent to set. This is not a joke. In the end, this is scary. You see? And he got 300 likes for this light. I mean, for that, man. It says, right, why does there always have to be stupid people that are willing to do anything for a buck and lead us all down this dark road? We know it's just a start. They got away with this. They're going to try to chip all of us, man. And you heard what Aaron Russo said. That's the end goal, man. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Agreed, very dangerous. All diseases go through the damn doctor. There are many goods, but the end result will be bad. Right, very bad. If you want freedom, it is not. It says, somebody said, for real, what the hell? They already getting the public used to it, and soon when they brainwash enough people how beneficial it is, then it is the end. I wonder how in the world they knew about this in the Bible, because this is the word of the Lord. This whole thing this thing of life that you're living is already scripted in the Bible. All these kingdoms that arose and fell, all in the Bible. All the things that happened to the Israelites, all in the Bible. All the things that's about to happen, that's happening right now as we live and breathe, are in the Bible, including the mark of the beast. This is the end. What is so fucking funny? Somebody says, now behold, mark of the beast or not, this is the gateway for losing human sovereignty. Let me see. The word, it says, at the word, you mean the mark of the beast, 666 in the Bible? no, the microchip implant. Well, this person don't know what he's talking about. It says it's not the real mark of the beast. Christians back then think credit cards are a mark of the beast. No, they didn't know. This is the mark of the beast, man. The RFID chip is the mark of the beast, man. And you got people on here saying it, man. Planting chips into our body to monitor our every move. Why would what could possibly go wrong? And let's look at some more of this video. Watch this.
Is when I'm ready, I'll push it in, insert the chip itself, pull it out. We'll just clean it with this prep stick.
This chip initially scared the hell out of me. So, seeing it in action, it's a game changer. How do I get me one of these?
So basically, we'll just clean it with this prep stick, and then what I'll do is when I'm ready, I'll push it in, insert the chip itself, pull it out, and then I'll put the cap back on, and we are all done.
Give me one, give me one. I was entering a new life where anything was possible. Like swiping right and left on men in real life. Having doors open for me. This was the future. But according to tech journalist Ian Sherr, I made a big mistake.
Yeah, well, fuck Eden Shore, man. According to the word of the Heavenly Father, you made a big mistake, man. So this is something called gradualism. It says gradualism from the form gratis is a hypothesis, a theory, a attempt, assuming that change comes about gradually, or that variation is gradual in nature and happens over time as opposed to large steps. So basically it says a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change and revolution. And that's what they're doing. And that's why, hey, this is the year of the Karagman, man. You see it right in front of you. You see it right in front of you. Never mind the ramifications of somebody stealing your money or your identity. Fuck that, man. You are going to die if you take this chip, man. This is 1 Timothy 5:6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, and that's that nigga woman, man. She living here in pleasure, but she's gonna die. That's the majority of you black, Hispanic, and Native American women, man. You all living in pleasure, and you just a walking dead. You just don't know it. Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge, man. Right? You Jakes, you think you know the Lord, you don't know the Most High, man. You don't know His word, you don't understand it, and you're foolish, you're sottish, you're stupid. Okay? That word for sottish, when you look it up, it says the 1560s foolish, from the Latin sot-ish, from a drunken, related to sottishly or sottishness, man. Okay? And that what they drunken with, the scripture says they stagger with strong drink, but not wine. That strong drink is these different philosophies, man. This do as you will. This one world, we're all together shit. That's a bullshit philosophy, man. But the majority of our people are drunk with this shit.
It's a lot of stuff we need to think about where this is going and what could happen as a result of it.
Let me tell you how my life has changed since I've gotten this chip. I can get snacks with the wave of a hand. I can start a car as soon as I buy a car. All of this is great. You need to get on board for being a hater, playboy.
And that may be the case, but whenever you put a foreign object into your body, it can be dangerous.
Not all of
Right. And that's listen to this, man.
But whenever you put a foreign object into your body, it can be dangerous.
Not all objects.
Yeah, because the nigga woman, she's fucking with dildos, random dicks. But it can be dangerous, man. These people trying to play the Most High, man. Never mind what the other facts, the cancerous issue that can happen in your body, how they can just put you to death, shut your shit off if you're going against them. The fact of the matter is that you're going to die in nuclear fire. And you niggas don't even know it. And we out here warning you through the spirit power of Yahweh by Shema Shai, but you ain't listening. It's always a fucking joke with you niggas, man.
Look, man, think about how much time I'm saving. In 20 years, I'll probably save 5 to 8 minutes.
My point is that you have to actually take it out if you want to take it out.
I never thought about removing it. Would this be like a 127-hour situation? I I mean, that's what you get for hiding by yourself, James Franco. Because that's not the point. What are like the worst case scenarios?
Well, people could go to extreme lengths to get your information, and you could get charged for stuff that you didn't intend to buy. This is hackable. People could steal your information. You may not even know when it's being accessed or for what. People will be able to track it. People are crazy. Someone could cut your hand off to use your chip. Because it's implanted, can't get away from it.
Oh my God. I mean, this is the worst episode of Black Mirror ever. And I saw the one with the pig. I mean, stealing other people's chips? You gotta lose your hand. There you go.
They making light of it, man.
You think you're just dancing, but you're buying items you put in your shopping cart when you were drunk.
Man, you niggas are simple, man.
Maybe this will be the norm in the future, and everyone will have a chipped hand. But right now, I'm not ready to be tracked or hacked. I have to get rid of this thing.
Like I told you, you niggas ain't gonna do it.
Give me straight, Jesus!
Yeah, that's the nigga woman for you, man. That's the nigga woman.
Maybe because I stuck a knife in my head. It's a rolling! No!
Yeah, you niggas are through, man. It's Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And that's what that is. Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And what we have is this truth. It's not for everybody, and you see why it's not for all our people, man. Yahweh Shema Shai is not concerned with the whole nation of Israel right now, man. Only the elect. All right? Here's a couple of articles to show you how real this is. For the brain chip, they said this is off of SarahWestall.com. It says brain chip created for U.S. soldiers to take out enemies with their minds. It says a groundbreaking device has been created that could allow soldiers to control military equipment and vehicles with their thoughts. Scientists from several universities in the U.S. have created a new brain-computer interface strip. The device is connected to the upper neck, picks up the brain signals, and converts them into digital information. These signals could be used to steer vehicles or control computers, and these are the miracles. These are the miracles that is due the people. It says Revelation 13:14, and deceive it. I'll start 13. And he doeth wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do. So giving the blind sight, giving you telepathic so-called powers, allowing you to purchase food with a wave of the hand, start your car with a wave of the hand. All right, that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. And that image of the beast is the RFID chip. That beast is the Roman Empire, which is the modern Roman Empire now, the EU and NATO. All right, and this is a form of them causing you to take it by making light of it, by making fun of it, giving you a nigger woman to push that vibration to you to think that it's funny. The whole time they over here worshiping Satan, and this bitch ain't funny. There's nothing funny about this. It says Doche Sloan investigates a Wisconsin-based company that installed microchips in its employees and hands and weighs the positive and negative effects of microchip technology. It says even you black dude, it says I have a chip in my hand and it's called a potato chip. Yeah, you think it's funny, man? This bitch eating fucking Cheetos, man. Shit is crazy. That's the only chip that I want. It says, even you black dude, it says, I'm not giving my company access to my body. What the fuck is wrong with people? Who the hell trusts a company to that extreme when a company's only goal is to make money and workers are burned through like cash chips? Right, man. Right. Because you can quit that job, they still gonna have you in that shit, man. And brother said Buffalo Blood bitches. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to bring this out, man. You know, this shit is not a joke. This is not a game. And anybody that takes this shit, you're gonna be put to death, man. You gotta pray to Yahweh Shem Shai that we can get through the hour of temptation. But if we keep his word and hold fast to what we have, no man is gonna take our crown. Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna bless us. And this information is not given to all of Israel. It's only for the elect of Israel. And clearly she's not one of them. Okay? Hey, so with that, I want to say shalom. Till the next time, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, the teachers with the truth and sincerity, doing well. Salutations to my fellow Akim. Keep pushing, keep striving. We're almost out of here. Shalom.
Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation as always to the elect, the tabernacle of David, as well as the large multitude, the rest of the men, women, and children whom the Lord will have mercy on. All right. And that body is known as the remnant, in which the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is getting ready to come deliver that remnant as it is written and promised in the Holy Scriptures. All right. And I was looking at some articles dealing with the wars and the rumors of wars. There's a lot going on. You know, Trump is pussyfooting, you know, on putting his foot down and striking Iran. All right. But as me and various other brothers say, you know, the least, all right, Israel, all right, is eventually going to force the hand of Babylon the Great to do something which is going to lead to World War III. As the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Now, I was looking at comments to these particular articles dealing with, you know, what's going on in Iran, what's going on with China, what's going on with Russia, you know, how these nations view America, how particular NATO and EU countries are you know, reneging on particular deals and growing fed up with Babylon the Great, which is America. And from everything that I read, you know, pretty much the American people and people who view America in a good light don't ever see it falling because of the strength of its military. Okay, and that was how, you know, nations and people looked at the ancient Roman Empire, man. Because even though Rome was a power, it was an idea that was embedded in people's mind about its glory. Same thing here with America, but now we're living at the time, just as at the end of the Roman Empire, you know, morally, all right, the infrastructure and everything is falling apart. You know, the minds of the people, you know, the idol worship is all leading to a decrepit, all right, state, you know. But, you know, as the scriptures say, dealing with, you know, this beast system, all right, I'll read here. This is Revelation 13:2. And the beast, all right, which thou saw was like unto a leopard. That's the Greeks, all right. That's the beginning of this beast system. Started with the Greek, okay, the Greeks, all right. You had Alexander, but before him you had his father, okay, who went through conquering, all right, with the sword, taking over lands, all right, oppressing people's heritage, and doing, all right, what they do today, okay. And they were known for their military strength, all right. And after the Roman Empire, eventually you had, I mean, after the Greeks, you had the Romans. But let me keep reading. It says in his feet, whereas the feet of a bear, all right, which is speaking of Russia and how Gog and Magog would lead the pack, all right, to be the destruction of this whole beast system. All right, it says in the latter days, it says in his mouth was the mouth of a lion, okay, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, okay, and this is basically the ancient Roman Empire, okay, which came after the Greek Empire. Okay, and they went through conquering, okay, and destroying, all right, and their military was like none other, okay, and that same narrative is being pushed here today through America, okay, which is the modern day Roman Empire. And we'll keep reading. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, meaning the Roman Empire fell. All right. And for a period of 1,000 years, the image of the Edomite was buried. Okay. They were no longer able to spread their lies, their art, everything was buried. Their image, they were pushed up into the caves. Okay. And his deadly wound was healed. All right. And that wound was healed at the time of the Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth. Okay. And what did you see being reborn around the 1400s, late 1300s, mid 1400s? The Roman Edomite way of life. All right. The Roman literature, the Roman art. Okay. The Roman way. Okay. And from that point, okay, through families like the Medicis, the Borgias, and various other crime-filled families, Esau, all right, was reborn, and his image was reborn, and he was able to go throughout the four corners of the earth and do nothing but complete wickedness, man. And he would be given the power by the Most High to do this. All right. So when his deadly wound was healed, the Renaissance period, all the world wondered after the beast. Why? Because of their great military, because they were blessed with the sword. These are Edomites. This whole system, this whole chapter is speaking of the Edomites, man. Okay, this is a chapter filled with prophecy, history, okay, and judgments. Okay, and it even speaks about, all right, the mark of the beast, which would be pushed forth out of this beast system in the latter days, which we're living in that time now, man. Okay, so all the world wondered after the beast, man. Okay, meaning worshipped it. And it says, and they worshiped the dragon, okay, the ancient Roman Empire, which gave power unto the beast, okay, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? You see, who is able to make war with him? And this is the narrative that I noticed today when reading comments. Okay. And as I was reading those comments, okay, because I'm a comment reader. Okay. I was led to this this speech by a George S. Patton, all right, who was a lieutenant. Okay. And we'll read, all right, his speech, not all of it, but some of it, and just to show you the pride of these Edomites and how they think. All right. Now, America, Babylon the Great, along with the NATO and the EU, is a force to be reckoned with. But we're living in a time where that whole system is being weakened. All right. One part is strong, one part is weak. They agree. All right. Some agree financially. Some agree. All right. Politically. But some disagree in politics. Some disagree financially. Some disagree with the way America goes around, starting conflict with these different places so it can take over. Some are just like, let's just chill. But you have other that are like, let's keep going. So right now, this whole beast system is in disarray. All right. And they're split in interest, which is a prelude to its destruction, because a kingdom that is divided will not stand. Now, dealing with the ancient Roman Empire, I wanted to read this real quick. It says, ancient Rome, the legacy of Rome. It says, the civilization of the ancient Rome had a lasting legacy on world history. Not only did the ancient Rome cover a vast amount of land at its peak, and how did they cover that vast amount of land? All right, through bloodshed, through war, through the sword. As the blessing Isaac gave the Edomites was that what? Okay, they would live by the sword, and the Edomites, okay, are the Romans. Okay, the Edomites are the Romans. Salakia. It says, not only did the ancient Rome cover a vast amount of land at its peak, but it also existed for almost 1,000 years. The legacy of ancient Rome is still felt today in Western culture, in areas such as government, law, language, architecture, engineer, and religion. All right. But also militarily. Okay. Because people never saw that the ancient Roman Empire would fall, man. But through decay, all right, through idol worship, through inflation, through lewdness, through lead being in the water, through their military being spread too thin. Eventually, they fell, man. And Esau Edom is the progenitor of the ancient Roman Empire. Okay, the one that we know of, because the original Romans were a Japhetic people, man. Romulus and Remus. They weren't Edomites, but this land was taken over by Edomites. Okay, but they were the Romans we know today. All right, those were Edomites, man. Okay, and Esau for so long has taken pride in the Greco-Roman Empire, but now that we are linking them to the Edomites, you don't really hear that no more. Now, let's go back to the scripture real quick. Okay. It says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? This whole system, who was able to make war with him? And this mind frame is embedded in the people, because every comment I was reading, they were basically like, well, America, we have these countries surrounded in the air, on the ground, in the water. They'll never, we'll just blow them to smithereens. That same, all right, mind frame is what follows and comes along with this beast system, man. Okay. Now it says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, man. And this system is speaking great, all right, words and blasphemy, man. Okay. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. All right. His power is limited. Okay. And it says, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name. Okay. To blaspheme his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So they blaspheme the name of the Most High, his image. They blaspheme the Israelites, which are the tabernacle, through pseudoscience and lies and witchcraft. And they blaspheme the angels, man. Now, okay, they can no longer hide the fact that the so-called UFOs are here, man, and real. See, they blasphemed them for so long, but now them that dwell in heaven are getting the advantage, man. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them through what? War. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, man. Okay, all the way up to America, Babylon the Great. These Edomites, from the time of the Renaissance till now, have conquered, destroyed, killed. Okay, and I looked up this article, and we'll get to that General Patton, because that dude was a character, man. Okay, it says America has been at war 93% of the time. Okay, now America has been in existence for about 240 years, 239 years, as you see. All right, out of those years, 93% of the time, it's been at war. Okay, you see, and a lot of and I'll say 98% of those wars, they were on the offense. They weren't on the defense. Okay. Now, and this is all described in the scriptures that they would do this. Habakkuk described it. Jeremiah described it. This is why they're called the hammer of the earth, man. As a matter of fact, let's get that. All right. Jeremiah 50. All right. Woo. I start at 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. And we see the wars and rumors of wars being spoken of, man. These nations gearing up. Okay. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee. All right. And thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. And that snare is being laid for them right now, man. Okay, that snare is, and their pride has them unaware, all right, that they're getting ready to be taken and destroyed, man, from within their own system, from some of their own allies. Okay, and the NATO and the EU are gonna grow tired of the bullshit that it's getting them into, because the NATO and the EU work for the interests of Babylon the Great. You see, but these particular countries are now growing tired, all right, because don't get it twisted. These countries are eating off of America. All right. You know, giving their interest unto the beast system for the purpose and benefit of America gives them the advantage, but those advantages are now ruining their business with other countries. All right. So all of these different countries are now trying to find a way out of this whole, US dollar. All right. And start their own things, which, when that happens, is going to lead to war, man. So America is being drawn out. All right. And then you have Israel. OK, who's America's Israel's bitch. All right. And they do nothing but wickedness and strike particular countries. And then they have America and these various different countries to back them up and to fight for them. So right now, it seems as though this beast system will never lose. Right. It says thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord. OK. Because Esau has some, like this world calls it karma, but judgment is coming to this place, man. You see, as the scriptures say in Isaiah, the 47th chapter, Esau never thought about the latter end of his doings, man. Putting a woman above the man, putting women and gays and transgenders in his military. Okay. Conquering too many lands through the sword. So right now, America is wide open for the taking, man. OK, it says the Lord has opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation for the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. OK, in the Chaldeans. All right. Is speaking of Esau, Edom, man. OK, because this is all ran by the elites, the witches. All right. And warlocks of this the priesthood of this kingdom, man. Okay. Now we'll go back to that, but let's go to this dude's speech. Okay, and we'll go back to this, and because it's another video I wanted to show. But Patton's blood and gut speech. Now this is an Edomite. You can see that proud look on his face. All right. It says in April 1941, Patton, who had been an acting commander of the 2nd Armored Division for 6 months, was given permanent command to promoted to a major general. All right. His most important priority was training men of war. One of his first acts as a commander had been to build the amphitheater in the wooded hills of Fort Benning that could accommodate the entire division. It was soon known as the Patton Bowl. The earliest versions of his soon-to-be famous blood and gut speeches were delivered, all right, as one soldier recalled. Okay. And, we're going to read some of what he was saying. It was not just a speech, it was a performance. Patton was not blessed with a deep, booming voice. His voice was actually rather high, certainly not, all right, the gravelly bass of George C. Scott in the Hollywood movie Patton. Okay, they had a movie about this guy. This was a master of dramatic pause, lowering his voice to great effect, forcing the audience to listen carefully before bellowing out a line of profanity. All right, toxic masculinity is what they would call it today, but that's how America was built. You don't build and protect the country with a bunch of damn sissies. Okay. Now, let's see. It says many elements of the speech were recycled over and over. Some became classic. Some lines became classic. It says, men, this is him. This stuff that some sources sling around about America wanting out of this war. All right. You see that? Not wanting out of this war, not wanting to fight is a crock of bullshit. Americans love to fight. All real Americans love the sting and clash of battle. And this is an Edomite. Okay? They know their blessing is the sword. So they don't ever think they'll lose. Americans love a winner. Americans will not tolerate a loser. Americans despise cowards. Okay? Americans play to win all of the time. Okay? I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost and will never lose a war, for the very idea of losing its hateful. For the very idea of losing is hateful to an American. You see, death must not be feared. Okay, and he goes on and on and on. But let's read some other stuff he said. We have the finest food, the finest equipment, the best spirit, the best men in the world. Why, by God, I actually pity those poor sons of bitches we're going up against. By God, I do. Okay? And this is not only the mind of the people who are in the military and the generals. This is a mind of the people who see Babylon the Great. Okay? It says, I don't want to hear of any soldier under my command being captured unless he has been hit. Even if you are hit, you can still fight back. All of the real heroes are not storybook combat fighters either. Every single man in this army plays a vital role. So he's amping up his men. Okay? So as you keep reading, you know, it's a whole, you know, it's a speech, and there was a movie about him, but I was led to this by reading a comment, man, of an Edomite, you know, saying basically, you know, Patton's blood and guts. All right, America will never lose a war. All right, but now look at the war. Look at the soldiers, man. They're all fagged out. You got women on the front line. Everybody's in disarray. Okay, as the scriptures say, the men of Babylon are gonna forborn to fight. They remain in their holes, man. Now you got a bunch of sissies, man. Okay, but people still, even with that, have this mind frame that Babylon the Great will never lose a war, man. Okay, because they have been in so many wars and have obliterated many. But we're living in a time now where, according to prophecy, as we were just reading in Jeremiah, they're getting ready to take the L, man. But the pride of their heart have deceived them into believing they're going to constantly win, man. And you can look at all of the wars. Some of them weren't major, but people were blown up and people died. Okay, all of the wars, you know, and it goes on and on and on and on, man. Okay, and it's always a war on terror, as you can see lately, but that's all bullshit, man. Okay, and right now you have this thing going on in Saudi Arabia, which we believe America's behind it, but who knows? All right, but it's all a part of the theater of war. The Lord is getting ready to have this place to be destroyed. Now, let's see here. I wanted to play this video, all right, because in recent times there's more articles and news and talks of America actually losing a war, which that spirit has not been in the earth in a long time. Okay, and it's still, you know, people proud, but then there's also the other side of it. You know, should we stop? You know, so let's go ahead and listen to this.
We got a stark warning today. A report says that the U.S. has lost its military edge and could lose a war against China or Russia. That is the conclusion of a bipartisan commission selected by Congress. Among its members is Michael Morell, former deputy director of the CIA and current CBS News national security contributor. Michael joins us from D.C. tonight. So explain, how do we get to this stage, Michael?
Really two main developments. One abroad and then one at home. The one abroad is that our main competitors, and we're really talking about China and Russia here, have for some time been investing in fighting a conventional war.
You know, China and Russia, all right, they got some shit, man. They've grown militarily, man. Okay, and U.S. is the #1 arms dealer, man. So these countries are now amping up, man. And not only is Russia and China, all right, you know, swagged up and have the armor, but they're also arming, all right, mainly Russia arming these other various countries that have issues with Babylon the Great America.
Well, we've been mired in 17 years of counterterrorism, counterinsurgency, non-conventional war. So we have not.
America has wasted a lot of their military on lies and bullshit and witchcraft. Okay, because America wants to conquer every goddamn thing. The elites use America to go around the world and be the hammer. Okay, the elites use America as a tool of witchcraft and as a tool of chaos and confusion to spread the wine, weaken, destroy these various different countries so that they can set up shop. You see, that's why America is called the hammer of the earth. Okay?
The other is a development here at home, which is the Budget Control Act of 2011, sequestration, which significantly cut defense spending, and put those two things together, and they brought us to this place.
But the U.S. still spends $716 billion a year on military. China's one.
Bro, let's hear that again. This is why people don't think they'll ever lose.
$16 billion a year on military, and $716 billion a year on military. China's 175, Russia's 60. What are we doing wrong?
So our competitors have a much smaller area of the globe to worry about, right? They worry about primarily the regions in which they live, and we're talking about Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. We have to worry about the entire globe because our interests are diverse.
Our interests are diverse, meaning they, all right, are spread all throughout the world, man. And this is what happened to the ancient Roman Empire. They were spread too thin. Now, it wasn't as vast as America, all right, but it was the same idea. Let's get Habakkuk chapter 1. Okay. Habakkuk chapter 1. All right. Habakkuk 1 and 6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans. Because Habakkuk is asking, when is the end going to come? Well, the end is going to come just like Pharaoh and the Egyptians were raised up. All right, the end is going to come through whom the Lord is saying here, the Chaldeans, all right, being raised up, but he's speaking of a different time. And to give you understanding on that, let's get Isaiah 47 real quick. Isaiah 47 and 1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. All right. That throne, that pride, all right, that these Edomites have is getting ready to be taken down because they think they're the top dog. All right. That's why they take on the emblem of the eagle, the highest flying bird. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans. So daughter of Babylon. All right. Virgin daughter of Babylon. O daughter of the Chaldeans. OK, which this is speaking of the Edomites. Lamentations chapter 4. Okay, in 21. Okay, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup shall also pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and make thyself naked. And this is happening. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So when you go to Habakkuk, okay, and that chapter we just read in Isaiah 47, that's speaking of the nation that the Lord will destroy to avenge us and take us out of captivity. The final captivity, we would be in the hands of Esau, Edom, the daughter of the Chaldeans, the daughter of Babylon. So Habakkuk 1 and 6, for lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, okay, which were the modern witches of the ancient, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, which this is the daughter of Babylon. That bitter and hasty nation which shall mark through the breadth of the land and possess dwelling places that are not theirs, man. Okay. Through what? Their military, that sword, man, that they were blessed with. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses are swifter than leopards and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves. They shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hasted to eat. Okay, they shall fly as the eagle that hasted to eat, man. They shall spread themselves, man. Okay, as the scripture saying, Habakkuk, okay, 2 and 5, it says, yea, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Whom the enlargeth his desire is as hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied. That's why there's still talk of war when they got all of this money. Why don't they just stop and just rule? They can't do that. They have to have blood. They have to infiltrate. They have to do wickedness. They have to poison. They have to blow up. They have to see blood. They have to do it. They have to conquer. They to the point where they're even going to try to conquer. They're even trying to conquer the Most High God. They're trying to conquer Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and they're even going to fight against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And this goes to show you that these are the Edomites, because when you get Genesis the 27th chapter, Esau's blessing, okay, is what? 27:39. And Isaac his father answered and said, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, meaning Esau will control the world at a point in time. There's only two nations that are going to control the whole entire world. That's Esau and Jacob. But Esau's fall is going to lead to Jacob getting that rule, man. And of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shall thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. Okay? By thy sword shall thou live, man. That's how he would get the fatness of the earth, man. And thou shalt serve thy brother, because it was given to Jacob that all his brethren will serve him, man. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay? Because under David, we had them in hardcore captivity, and he eventually, uprooted himself from that dominion, because of course Solomon went off. Okay. And then we lost that power. And then at the time of the dark ages, we had them in the caves. And then eventually the spirit was put on them for that deadly wound to be healed. Okay. And they have built up all the way unto this, which is all prophecy. But when you look up this word dominion, okay, rawad, it says to wander restlessly, roam, to be restless, to show restlessness. And this is at the forefront of how he rules. All right, going throughout the four corners of the earth, wreaking havoc. Okay, this is why they can't keep still, because they have so much interest in so many parts of the world, whereas Iran, Russia, and these various different nations, they have dominion over particular parts and interest in particular regions of the earth, but it's not on the mass scale of America. So America's military is spread thin. Let's type that in, the ancient Roman military spread thin. Yep, let's see here. Quite thin. All of the Roman Empire, quite thin. I'll just hit to the point. Okay. It says, to defend the large empire they created, speaking of Rome, they relied heavily on border forts spanning the vast expanse of the Roman Empire, which spread their army quite thin. This is off collegehistory.info, ancient manuscripts, fall of the Roman Empire. This is what led to their fall. So their strength became their weakness. And that's what's happening here with Babylon the Great. You see, over here, the people are stupefied. They're dumb. They dwell carelessly. Okay. And everybody in the world is growing hate towards America. Now it says all of this caused the army not to have any real incentive to defend the borders like they used to. There was no more grand conquest into barbarian lands, but defending from the many migrating and warring tribes moving into the borders. And that's all happening spiritually. Okay, America, the enemies are already over here, but America is surrounded. They pride themselves in surrounding everybody, but America is surrounded. Okay? It says this defensive strategy started after the death of the Emperor Trajan and during the reign of the Emperor Hadrian. All right. All of this kept the army from being able to do what they are made for in addition to all of its logistics systems for the border of fortifications, and the armies was so poor that an invading force would be well into the borders before it would meet a significant resistance. This led to many drastic measures, such as Hadrian's Wall, a large stone and wall system for a fortification spanning from the length of Britain, all right, just so forth, and it goes on and on. I'm actually have to read that, but this is happening now. This is why when you read Ezekiel 38, okay, these nations know that America is ready for the taking. Okay, it says verse 11, verse 10, it says, thus said the Lord God, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, America, Babylon the Great. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwelleth safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates, meaning it's wide open for an attack, for a right hook. You see? And not only do you have to worry about these nations, but the chariots are going to finish your asses off, man. Because you so proud that you think you're going to fight against the second coming of Yahushua as well, man. So you got military in the space, you got military spread all throughout the four corners of the earth. You just got military everywhere, all right? But you're not considering that that can be used against you, all right? Let's keep going.
And we are fighting, again, this non-conventional war every day that's eating up resources and eating up investment in our military. So I think that is the difference, Jeff.
Mike, so give us an idea what this looks like. When we talk about losing a war to Russia or China, what does that mean?
So I think Taiwan is a great example. If you can imagine a scenario in which the Chinese conduct a surprise attack on Taiwan, the U.S. would have great difficulty quickly getting forces there, because the Chinese have invested in area denial weapons that are specifically designed to keep us. So we could eventually mount a counterattack if we mobilize the nation, and we might be able to win that war. But even if we did, it would come at horrendous cost, Jeff.
There's a whole economy, as you know, built around military and military spending. To the detractors who might say this is just trying to sustain that industry and increase the amount of money going to it.
At the end of the day, there wasn't anybody on this panel who was thinking that way. This panel was thinking about the U.S. interests in the world, the threats we face, the advances that our adversaries are made, and the challenges we're likely to face. And we're worried, Jeff. We are worried that we're not going to be able to meet them.
Are you optimistic this all gets fixed?
So I'm not. There were similar warnings in 2010. Similar warnings in 2014, Jeff, by similar panels. Nothing was done. In order to actually fix this, we would need a political consensus, and you know the state of our politics. This reminds me a bit, Jeff, of all of the strategic intelligence warnings in the years before 9/11, and we all know how that story ended.
The president mentioned the other day that his predecessor had helped, I believe the wording he used was devastated the U.S. military, and President Trump has said that he's brought back the military to what it was before. Are either of those sentiments accurate?
Both political parties are to blame. The Budget Control Act was a deal between the Obama White House and Republicans in Congress. And it is absolutely true that President Trump's initial budget did give the military some more money, and he deserved.
So it was cut off. But yes, since Trump has been in office, I mean, as we were reading, particular places are bombed by the American, the U.S. military. All right. What does it say? I believe it was every 2 minutes there was a bombing, or I forget. But let's see this. Let's listen to a little bit of this real quick.
U.S. Defense Panel has warned that the military is falling out of alignment with its key goals. The National Defense Strategy Commission submitted a report to Congress saying the U.S. needs to rebuild its military force capacity and capability in Europe. The document says that if the United States had to fight Russia in a Baltic contingency or China in a war over Taiwan, Americans could face a decisive military defeat. The commission calls for budget caps on military spending to be removed, and it says the wars in Afghanistan, Syria, and Iraq are holding the military back, causing the U.S. to neglect so-called great power competition. Arvind Vohra, a 2020 presidential hopeful for the U.S. Libertarian Party, says overseas interventions have harmed U.S. national security.
The reason that Americans are in danger right now, and they are, is because the U.S. military is creating enemies. They're creating enemies in Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan, throughout the entire Middle East. We don't need to create more enemies. The United States is already spending more than the next several nations combined on military spending. I think what the report is reflecting is that the U.S. military has entirely lost sight of its actual purpose. The military's job is to keep the United States of America and our people safe at the lowest cost possible, to keep us safe with as low taxes as we can. And this move is a move in the wrong direction. We can be safer and have less and have lower taxes if we have the courage to say America's defense is important, but defending it.
And they're not going to stop, you see. But this is going into the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, you see. Let's get that in the book of Obadiah. They think, and these people believe, that they're going to be able to continue to go and go and go and go, man. All right. Obadiah 1 and 2, as this guy said, America is creating many enemies. Okay. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. All right. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, okay, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, space defense, you know, talking about he went to the moon, you know, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay, and this is what's happening right now, man. You know, the pride of your heart has deceived you. Okay, Isaiah 47 says what, man? And I guarantee you, you read the comments here. Okay. People are cursing America out, man. But I was reading some articles earlier on what's going on with Iran and all of these various different things. And the narrative was just people were just proud, man. All right. I could find that article, but for the sake of time, you know, and people were just cursing America out. You know, what war have America actually won? The war on drugs, the war on poverty, the war on terror, and on, spending billions to lose, not win. It's all bullshit, man. And everybody knows that America is through, man. Oh, man. And see, people are now waking up to the fact that this is all bullshit, man. Peace is bad for business. Let me go back to that other video real quick. Let's read the comments here a little bit. Are we really saying a war between nuclear powers there would be a winner? Fear mongering. Unbelievable. The U.S. has over 5,000 nuclear weapons. North Korea has a handful. If North Korea with a few nukes feels safe from an attack, I think the U.S. is just fine. Who in the world will want to have war with the U.S.? Russia? China? End of mankind? If 7 billion is not enough, throw another trillion at it. That's why the roads are crumbling. All right? Oh, man. And everybody's saying it's propaganda. Some people, you know, you got people mixed in opinions, which that's a part of why this is Babylon the Great, all of the confusion. All right. But ultimately, this is all prophecy, man. You know, prophecy is playing out on the planet Earth, man. Okay. Let's see here. Isaiah 47:7. And thou hast said, I shall be a lady forever. so that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither did thou remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given unto pleasures, man. Because you can't be the bully forever, man. You can't do wickedness forever without the Lord addressing you, man. Plus you touch the apple of his eye, the Israelites, man. All of these things need to be taken into understanding, man. Consideration. This place has put out a bunch of bad energy, man. The way you treat animals, idol worship, lying, stealing, rape, rob, murder, pedophilia. Okay? The Lord gonna deal with you. That sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. This is the mind frame of the people and the rulers, man. Okay, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children, widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, for thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, that thou shalt not know whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou had not known. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. And you can see those enchantments being thrown out. You can see the bread and circuses, the confusion that Esau is trying to throw out to hide the fact that he is in total disarray, man. You know, and these particular nations are getting ready to shoot missiles, all right, on this place, man. Okay. Revelation 17 and 12. Okay. And the 10 horns, which are the vassal states, the ancient Roman Empire had vassal states, the Goths, the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Sueves, the various different vassal states which worked in the beast system for the purpose of the Roman Empire. They got gifts and different advantages by joining them and aligning themselves to the Roman Empire, but they had to work for the interest. They were a lesser working for the greater. Okay. Which have received no kingdom as of yet. All right. Because America is the Rome. America is the powerhouse. These nations are just vassals. Okay. But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Okay. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So these various different nations for all these years have given their power unto the beast system. All right. These shall make war with the Lamb. And if you look, all of these various different countries are talking about space defense, and, you know, it's not just Babylon. Okay. And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Okay. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, because it was given unto them to have power over all the nations, man, through Babylon the Great, Esau, Edom. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, okay, these shall hate the whore, the NATO and the EU, man, which is started as 10 nations and eventually, I believe, is now in the 20s. Okay. It's gotten even bigger. Okay. These shall make war with the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay. Right now, the snare is being laid for Babylon. All right. And the spirit is being put on you to continue and continue. Then you have the so-called Jew. All right. Which is poking at people. So these nations are getting ready to fuck you up, man. Excuse my French. For God have put it in their hearts, okay, to fulfill his will. And what's his will? To burn her with fire, man. And to agree and to give their kingdom into the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled, man. And they've given their kingdom to the beast. But right now you see this whole system is in disagreeing on various things. Okay. You got particular NATO and EU countries that are saying, stop fucking with Iran. Stop. But America ain't going to stop, man. Okay. You have particular countries like America is trying to start wars. They figured you out. Okay, and the Lord has put it in their minds to figure you out, man. But the whole who shall make war with the beast, that whole talk is getting ready to be shut up, man. And the Lord, all right, through prophecy will prevail, man. Hopefully I will edify. Shalom.